I'm Justin Rhodes from Asheville, North Carolina. Thank you for tuning into this 3-part video series. I've taught thousands of people how to grow their own eggs and chicken and enjoy a more sustainable lifestyle. In this 3-part video series, I'm going to cover all the most important reasons for getting chickens, or what they can do for you. And then you're going to get excited and you're going to want to get going, so I'm going to teach you how to get going in just a little more than 10 minutes. And then the 3 keys to keeping your chickens happy and alive. Then I'm going to cover how to bootstrap with your chickens. I'm talking do-it-yourself mobile chicken housing and cutting your feed bill 100%, feeding them all off of your own land. Now first, the 3 essentials. What can chickens do for you? Okay, there are 3 main categories. One is food, obviously, right? But how much food? What are we talking? Eggs, of course. Now, the chickens I'm going to recommend in the next video are going to give you at least 4 eggs a week. And when they graduate to your dinner plate, 6 pounds of meat on your table. Now, the second main thing that chickens can do for you is work. I would keep chickens even if they didn't lay eggs or provide delicious meat. For their working ability, I've identified 8, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about 5. First of all, chickens can till. You leave them in an area long enough, they will till it. They will fertilize. That stuff that comes out the other end, it's rich and fertilizer. So put them out in your grass, put them out in your lawn, put them out in your pasture, put them in a place you want to have a garden. You're going to automatically fertilize it with your chicken. Then they can help you in the compost process. The compost, you need 4 different things: oxygen, water, carbon, and nitrogen. Your chickens are going to provide nitrogen in their manure. And then they're gonna, if you give them access to that compost, they'll turn it, they'll kick it up, and that give oxygen into there. Okay, so the next thing you can do with these chickens is spread mulch. They naturally scratch, and that can spread things around. I garden with wood chips, and so I'll get a big old pile of wood chips where I want my garden, and I'll put my chickens on that. I'll encase it with an electric poultry net, and my chickens will turn that, and they'll spread it all out for me. Forget the rake, you don't need that. Okay, then they will debug a place, all right? You could do like me and let them out in the evening for a couple of hours, and they will take the bugs down. We're talking ticks, worms, ants, you name it, all kinds of things. So the third thing the third reason for keeping chickens would be to connect with your food source. There is something so special, and if you've done this, you know what I'm talking about. If you've grown anything, a chicken, an egg, a salad, if you've grown that and you've sat down to eat that with your family, you know the joy I'm talking about. It's unexplainable. When you've seen something go from the beginning to the end and you've put it on your plate and it's given you that energy to go on. So if that's not enough, I'm going to let Joel Salatin, Pat Foreman, and Lisa Steele, I bet you recognize some of those names, give their reasoning for keeping some chickens.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why somebody would want to have chickens, whether it's for their personal enjoyment or for business. I think one of the first ones is that they're child friendly. You know, they're not going to run over your child like a bull or a cow. You know, so it's small stock, which brings me to the second reason, and that is that you can start with low capital infrastructure. It doesn't take big corrals and big cattle trailers, and you know the infrastructure that it generally takes to run larger stock, even including sheep.
I think that raising chickens, it definitely changes your life. It makes you more in tune with where you live and what you're putting in your family's body, and you know what your food is eating. Whether you eat the chickens or you eat their eggs, you're feeding them a healthy diet. You know, it makes you more aware of the weather. You know, is it going to be hot today? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to rain? It's a family activity. Everybody can have their own chores. So I mean, I would say definitely raise chickens for the eggs, because the eggs are probably one of the healthiest protein sources and most economical that you could possibly feed your family.
The nice thing about beginners is that the chicken movement hasn't even crested yet. It's massively going over all of North America, including Canada. And people are understanding that, one, it's getting back to your food supply, but then two, chickens have been with humans over 10,000 years, and we evolved together. There's a wonderful book called How the Chicken Crossed the World. And did it migrate? No. Did it walk? No. How did it get there? It traveled with humans, even in their boats and wagons. It was always chickens were always with us. The Roman army traveled with chickens.
Now, there are 3 things you might be thinking. Number 1, you might be thinking, I've got this, sign me up, how do I do this? Well, the next video is for you, where I talk about how to get started in keeping your chickens alive and happy. You might be thinking, I can't do this because I'm in the city, it's illegal. Well, that's a bunch of chicken doo-doo. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 options. If it's illegal, there's nobody driving around looking for people keeping chickens. Okay, so just do it anyway, but be at peace with your neighbors. Your neighbors are gonna be the one who calls and gets you in trouble. So give them a few eggs. Don't get a rooster. Roosters make the noise. You don't need them to have eggs. So just move forward like that. Now, there's another option. Partner with somebody, a friend, a family in a rural area just outside the city. Or maybe you have a community garden where you could put some chickens. In the rural area, partner with your friend or family and say, hey, I'll buy these chickens, I'll buy the food, I'll buy the supplies, you do the chores, and we'll split the eggs. Do something like that. There's really no excuses. Now, you might be thinking, I'll do something stupid. Now, yeah, you're probably going to do something stupid, even with all the lessons in the world. I did a few things stupid, but guess what? These chickens are extremely forgiving and even replaceable. Now, in my next video, I'm going to teach you how to get started with chickens, even if you want to do it, get set up in just one weekend, and keep them alive and happy. But before we go, a quick tip. Get a piece of paper. Write down how many chicken eggs you want a week. Okay, go ahead. Now, let's say you wrote down 12. Now divide that by 4. Why 4? That's how many eggs the chickens I recommend to you in the next video will give you a week at least. So let's say you wanted a dozen eggs. You divided that by 4. That equals 3. You only need 3 chickens to get a dozen eggs a week. Not bad, right? So there's your goal. You have it written down, how many eggs you want a week and how many chickens you need. That's going to go a long way in taking you to that next step. So please, take a moment, go to the comments below, make a comment, ask a question, heck, even give a derogatory remark. I will read them and answer them. So also down below is a microdoc. It's more on Joel Salatin, Pat Foreman, and Lisa Steele on the reasons for keeping chickens. So until the next video, we'll see you later.